but Twitch and now YouTube Gaming, being able to share these experiences, to me, it's as close as you can get, and to me, it's arguable if it's the same thing, but it's as close as you can get to, hey, come over and let's play this game. It's a one-player game, but watch me play it. We all had that experience if you're around our age group. We're doing Legend of Zelda. Come watch me play Legend of Zelda, or take turns playing it. Mm-hmm. But now you have a story element that's not been there before. Your playthrough is not going to be the same as someone else's playthrough in a lot of these games. Yeah. Some of these are arguable, Call of Duty or whatever. We can get into skill discussions on that, or MOBAs where you're watching the same thing over and over again, but it's how the player decides to take a tactic or whatever. Right. But when it comes to Until Dawn, which has been fantastic, I've watched some playthrough, some streams of that. Bloodborne, I find, oh wow, that's an amazing tactic. I never thought of doing that. You're charging forward when he's attacking forward, and it works. Different amazing bits. I would not have gotten that same feedback, and it's become a huge thing, not only for personalities but also because it's a way to share those stories. You can share those now, as opposed to sharing and saying, "Hey, did you see this?" You could show someone in their video or while you're doing it and experiencing it with other people, which is really, really cool.
Well, the other piece of that is, I know that there were, Seth Green and Will Wheaton were playing games when I was growing up, but I never got to see what they did. Yeah. And so it's I can hang out with my buddy, watch my buddy's experience, but on top of that, I can see this other person who I respect and enjoy watching. Yeah. And I can see what they're doing. Exactly. There are a ton of celebrities, or even internet celebrities, whatever level you want to call it. They're celebrities to us. Where they're millionaires. They're legitimate celebrities. So that works. Yeah. There are people, which we could name a ton of them that you go not only. Let's not. But watching their Let's Plays, or you're not only getting to see their personality, you're getting to see their take on it. And getting to see, like you said, someone who you really respect doing your hobby. They're just like us, and it's pretty cool to see that. And so YouTube Gaming dropped. It was announced, not dropped, because it's not a thing you buy. YouTube Gaming was launched. Mm-hmm. Now, some people have been talking about certain personalities that were contacted earlier on. I don't know if you've heard about this. Certain personalities were contacted earlier on. I don't know if there was any money exchanged or if there was any quid pro quo, but essentially saying, we want you to stream on here. We know you stream on Twitch. Come to the dark side or the light side or whatever it is. The other side. The other side. I don't know how to feel about that. Everyone that I saw were people who are already on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't think it was an odd choice. But you mentioned PlayStation having a new option starting in 3.0, right? Mm-hmm. So, and those of us in the special beta program are already checking that out. Have you tried it out? I've installed it. Okay, so it's waiting for me, and I could, and you can't. So go ahead. That's the important. That is. It's an option. So let's go ahead and. So the way that it's setting up is because. Twitch will allow me to stream things, and then they get archived, and then I can upload it to YouTube, and it's this whole separate thing. Yeah. But YouTube is the one. I came onto Twitch for certain kind of funny celebrities. Sure. Yeah. But YouTube is the one that everybody knows. Everybody, even if you don't do gaming, everyone knows YouTube. Yeah. They have 1 billion accounts on YouTube now. Mm-hmm. I heard recently. And maybe even more now. But I have 6 of them, so there you go. I'm helping. I have 3. They're for different reasons, but you have that many people watching, and it's not just gaming; it's everything. Mm-hmm. So you can hit. Well, the other element of it is monetization is much easier on YouTube because in order to be a partner on Twitch, you have to have X number of steady participants. You have to have consistently an average of 500 or more viewers. Yeah. I get 3. Sure. At this point. I get around that. I've had some times that spike up.
that spike up to 7 or 10, and
but
and you're like,
these are not numbers.
that's really cool. No, it's not. I mean, that's nothing. It's a personal channel. It's not even a on that channel is a personal channel. We're also launching a Twitch channel as well. But that's just my personal channel of my friends. So as opposed to people who are trying to drum a following and trying to bring people in to watch with them. But how do you get 700, 800, 1,000 people to all of a sudden drop whatever they're doing because they got a notification
right now?
Right now, you're on. Now that goes, you can go into the whole scheduling thing. Some people schedule specific times where they're like, Thursday at 8, boom, that's when it's going to start. So, and which is great, but a lot of these guys just jump in, and all of a sudden you get, like I said, I've seen over 1,000 viewers on a game that dropped because of the person who was playing it. All of a sudden, and they just decided, I'm picking up the controller and start streaming, and then boom, 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 it just grows, and it's pretty interesting.
But I think you kind of hit it on the head with the scheduling element.
Yeah.
Is that Twitch is, I mean, as the name implies, it's something right now, immediate. This is what's happening.
YouTube,
whereas
you can announce, right?
YouTube gaming, you can announce, and you can get residual, so people can say, "Hey, did you see this thing? Let me shoot you a link," and you can watch it later, and it doesn't disappear after 60 days.
Exactly, and which Twitch does unless you archive to YouTube, which means that you're essentially splitting your viewership. Now, hardcore people are going to be subscribed to both, but your casual people who just stumble on, they might not have a Twitch account. They might not have a YouTube account. I think most people do, but either way, you're splitting it and you're saying, here, go to both of these places. See it live here, see it archived here, and it's this hodgepodge. Or saying, let me see, I saw this guy on Twitch. Oh wait, no, that was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
The other piece of it is, and I know that this is something that a lot of people have talked about, but Twitch's chat being 40, 45 seconds behind makes it really hard to interact on or react to something that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And haven't gotten a chance to try YouTube's chat, but I have seen a few live events, and it seemed this is entirely subjective, but it seemed to be a lot quicker on the uptake. And for me, that's my main problem with Twitch is that I want to be able to say something and react to what's happening now and have it get out there. Because, like, if I'm watching on my phone or whatever, then it's going to take me, 10, 15 seconds to put that in. Then it goes, and it's a 45-second delay, and then it's 15 seconds later he sees it. And so it could be 3 minutes down the line when my comment is reacted to, and it has nothing to do with what's happening now.
Correct. Or the comment could be something either vague or slightly ambiguous, where you're referring to a specific situation, and in games,
oh my gosh, I did not see that coming.
And you've had 2 of those other moments that happen in between, and the person who's streaming, who you're having that experience with, the person who's streaming, you were giving that feedback, and saying, "Holy crap, that was amazing what you just did," and then they see your comment and they have to take a minute to realize what moment were they talking about.
Well, and once it's reached that point, they are not. It's not feasible, or it's just really not. It would disrupt the whole thing, and you would have to go back and be like, "What are you talking about?" And go back, and it's
the whole slowpoke thing.
Yeah,
where it's like this moment's happened, and hey, did you see that? No, we're past that now. God. And how's voice on that? Have you tried that yet on Twitch? Because you can add specific moderators and allow certain people to actually communicate that way. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Yeah. So most people don't use it. I think
why would you?
I think most people don't use it because you're an individual who's playing a game, and certain people are interacting. You don't want to take them out of the element. Depending on where they are. I think it could be used for moderators or that.
Yeah, or you could, if you say that we're doing something together, and you're playing and I'm kind of announcing and keeping up with the chat, that would be something that I could do remotely.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if it's something that's done also in co-op. I'm not as big of a multiplayer guy when it comes to like MOBAs and that kind of thing. So,
not as big, meaning nothing.
No, I've played them. Not my thing. Same thing with World of Warcraft in regards to Battlegrounds. I played the hell out of World of Warcraft. I love that game. I'm considering going back, but the Battlegrounds just didn't do it for me. But in the same token, I am obsessed with Rocket League. So I don't like MOBAs, but you put us in an RC car and tell me play soccer with this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like sports games. I'm not that big of a... Well, actually, I'll put it this way. Put it this way.
But it's
I'm more of a
not a
sports
MOBA.
games
It's
fan
not
than-
a sports game.
Yeah.
It's not a racing game.
But it's all of those
It's just
things.
this cool mishmash of... And we've not seen that before. And I think that's a big piece of it, is that it's just this whole new thing.
Yeah. I've told non-gamers about that game, and non-gamers go, "What? Really? That sounds
hold on.
amazing. You do what? You're in a car? Yeah, but it's like an RC car. But you can, you play soccer with it, and you kind of jump and move. And this first there's a look of confusion, and then every single one of them says, that actually sounds interesting.
Yeah.
No one's done something like that.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. But I've heard, I don't know all the details on it, but I've heard that that in the PlayStation 3.0, you can stream YouTube gaming and Twitch at the same time. Are they linked somehow?
I believe so.
Okay.
I haven't been able to confirm that.
Okay. So I want to get back into that, because if right now Twitch
tune in next week.
Next week. So right now, if you do a let's play or stream, whatever you want to call it, you do that on Twitch. You can then archive it to YouTube, which most people do shortly after to get your views in multiple places. People who didn't catch the stream.
Right, and it's also much easier to send somebody a link to a YouTube thing than a Twitch thing, because they may not have an account, and it might be this whole rigmarole.
Exactly. But YouTube,
they just never get through.
Go to it. And I'd say the majority of people right now, if you send, if they don't have a YouTube account, they have a Gmail account, and then you have both. So
right. and even if you didn't have that set up, when somebody sent you a link, you click, it plays.
Yes, exactly. And embedding is just, you can just link it on your Facebook. There it is. People can watch it right there. So right now you can archive that. But one thing I was going to talk about before 3.0 was announced, we were discussing different things we wanted to that were interesting about YouTube gaming. I was going to say, right now, Twitch is the biggest name in regards to streaming. If you're streaming games, if you're live streaming games, that's where you go.
Because
YouTube,
that's PC and Xbox and PlayStation.
Exactly, and so now you have YouTube gaming, and as soon as it came out, I thought, okay, this is great for the PC crowd. How long is it going to take for the consoles to catch up? Who's going to do it? They're both going to. I mean, YouTube is big enough that they both need to. Both Microsoft and PlayStation need to. Sony need to do this.
And then 2 years later.
Then, yeah. But YouTube gaming is announced, and then the following week, the details on 3.0 are announced, and beta's out, and in it, YouTube gaming. So we're already going to get that. Whether or not Sony or Microsoft is going to be first to do it, that's neither here nor there. The interesting thing to me is that it's not that battle of the consoles, but the battle of the streaming, of live streaming. You have Twitch.
Of the communities.
Yeah.
Because
Twitch is a tight-knit community.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's also one, because like you were talking about the mods and everything, and it's like I don't like the chat delay, but the chat setup is much more elegant. Yeah. And they both need to borrow elements from each other to really be able to pull it together.
Which I think is always good in business when you have at least two giants going at it and trying to perfect and trying to get you a good product. What you have is it's kind of like Sony, or not sorry. You have Disney and Universal Studios, both existing in Florida, and both are trying to outdo one another. You have Harry Potter came out in Universal Studios to try to outdo, try to get some people from Disney. And you have Disney saying, "All right, well, we're doing Star Wars," and so drop the mic. So, no one's going to argue that Universal Studios, their theme park is as good or as big as Disney. There are some the rides are amazing and everything, but Disney is just this giant. But if you took out Universal, Disney wouldn't have to. Mm-hmm. Disney wouldn't have to innovate. Yeah. And I think it's the same thing. For YouTube and Twitch, I want them to coexist because they're going to help each other. And if it's true that you're going to be able to live stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, if you're going to be able to link and integrate that would be essentially YouTube saying, we don't mind these guys. Let that community exist. YouTube's big enough that it doesn't matter. Google is big enough that it doesn't matter. They have so many eyeballs on their channels already that they can say, you can be there. It's not a Facebook, MySpace thing. Just do your thing,
and we're
going to do our thing,
and we'll watch you. You watch us, and we'll innovate. You'll innovate.
Yeah,
and that's what drives things to get better.
Yeah, it really does.
And I do like it though when companies make an effort to differentiate themselves.
Yeah,
like Microsoft didn't succeed, but that's what they were trying to do at the beginning of this console generation when they first announced it. They said, "Hey, we have an idea for a new thing that could be something entirely different." And then everybody went, "Boo, change!" And they went, "Okay, sorry about that. Give us a couple weeks. We'll be right back."
Yeah, and it was.
I've always wondered what it would have been like if they had stuck to their guns and presented the thing, because a lot of their ideas were interesting, but you have to be willing to sit through the backlash of change.
You do. I think the big thing for that, and I guess this brings us on to our random other topic, but the big thing when it came to that launch was Microsoft said, "Here's all our details, and also your console has to be online at least once every 24 hours for you to get all this stuff."
Yeah.
And that's where everyone went, boo, hiss. Okay, you have the whole how you trade your games. Okay, that was going to be an added DRM. I don't think it would have been as horrible as people could have imagined. It's not like trying to sell a digital game right now, which is this weird, like, how do you... they were setting up a system where you were going to be... the game was tied to your account. If you want to sell it, then you have certain third parties that are able, GameStop and others, were going to be able to essentially exchange that authentication for your console.
Yeah.
But the biggest hurdle was you have to be online every 24 hours.
Well, and honestly, that affects such a low percentage of people. But it was the idea of it's always watching. There was also some of that over the Kinect. The Kinect's always going to be watching. Okay, well, if Captain Picard is going to be able to order Earl Grey hot, the replicator needs to be listening all the time. But that still makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, which my Xbox One does right now. I have voice commands on that, but the way that they re-architected that and the way it's only listening for certain things, and if it doesn't hear those certain things, it doesn't have a way to record them.
Right.
It's fantastic. But you mentioned that it affects a small amount of people. It may be a smaller chunk of the gaming population, and I don't know the exact numbers of it. But if you look at the United States in regards to your internet speed, in regards to accessibility to there are huge parts of this country that you have dial-up still, and it's sad. I know it's really hard.
Why am I apologizing? They can't see this.
They might not be able to. I was recently visiting some family, and the availability of internet connections, and not only in what they can in choice, but in speed is just nil.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's something that Epic Namebro deals with.
Yeah.
Because he's a bloodborne guy that He helped write the guide. He's one of my
Yeah,
heroes.
Dark Souls, Bloodborne, awesome stuff.
But he was not able to, and still can't stream.
Yeah.
Based on where he is in the country,
Correct.
he has to. He is only able to do YouTube.
Yes.
And upload it, later, like a day after he actually did the play.
He's doing a capture on a PC, or he's probably using capture card. I think is what he uses.
Right,
it. But
runs it
capture
through
card through the PC. PC records it. Then you upload. Meanwhile, if you're in the Metroplex or certain areas, in large countries or large cities. I've got a 50 meg connection now. I think you have that as well. I can stream gameplay. I did this, and I felt like a glutton doing this. I was streaming gameplay, and I had YouTube playing on my laptop at the same time because I was hooked on a specific YouTube series. So I was listening to that while I was streaming. So I'm downloading and uploading. No stalling at all, no buffering, and to realize that some people like Netflix is like that's the Netflix. They could do standard definition and that's it. And we're we're spoiled in regards to where we are and everything. There are a lot of places that don't do that. So I think that's the big thing that people were worried about with Microsoft. And then you also have, if you have a console that is centered around this, what happens after the servers go down? It can't authenticate to the server. So are they going to send an update that lets you then play whatever game you want and then it becomes a traditional console? And if so, why not just have that already?
Well, it also, the way that they presented it, it seemed arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like there were reasons for it, and that was one of the things that was necessary to put forth the vision that they had.
Yeah.
But when people are looking at just, you just hear this announcement out of context, and the internet does nothing well if not rage.
Yeah, and I raged on it quite a bit. I'll admit it. I did not like that. I did not like the idea of a handful of things on it. I don't think that the console generation's ready for that. I think PC's kind of there for the most part. If you saw Metal Gear Solid, I don't know if you saw this again, back to Metal Gear Solid, but if you bought the PC version of it, it essentially linked to a Steam download. So you get a disc, and on it is essentially allows the game to be downloaded via Steam.
That's still not as bad as the Wolfenstein Collector's Edition that came out last year.
Okay.
The Collector's Edition was $150. Didn't include the game at all. Not a code, not anything. You had to buy the game and the Collector's Edition of not the game.
So yeah, that's a
And
that's a subject
I still don't know how that got through the number of people that had to get through.
Give a download code. I mean, how hard is that?
Yeah.
You're already paying for packaging for the rest of it, because that's the argument when it comes to all of this is you have digital versus physical media. Digital theoretically should be cheaper because you don't pay for shipping. You don't pay for all this. But and regardless of that, you have already paid for all of this packaging. You have a collector's edition that includes all these amazing things for whatever you're a fan of. Just give it a little slip in there. It's a little flyer. My Xbox came with ones for Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and Unity. Just a little slip that cost them pennies to give me the code. I download. Win-win.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
Neither one of us know.
Have a good one.